think there are maybe 1,000,002 different baby carriers that there are to choose between. I've tried about half of those, and so I thought I would share today about some of my favorite baby carriers, some of the things I like about them, some of the things I don't like about them. So if you are in the market for a baby carrier, you have a better idea of what you might like. I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, where every single week I share videos about farming, family food, and fortitude here on our 5-acre homestead in northern Minnesota. Okay, so we are going to cover a whole bunch of baby carriers today. I'm going to talk wraps, I'm going to talk ring slings, I'm going to talk actual like carriers. I'm going to talk about woven wraps. We're going to cover it all. We're going to start actually with just a general wrap. So this time when I had my new baby girl, I got a wrap from Solly Baby, and they seemed to have really good reviews. They had really pretty wraps, and so that's what I decided to go with. So a wrap, if you're brand new to baby carrying, it's literally just, I'm going to look like a magician here, just one long continuous piece of fabric that seems impossibly long, and that you wrap around your body and wear your baby in. And I'll show you what that looks like here. The things that I like about this wrap is how incredibly soft it is. You can almost see through it here. Maybe, yeah, if I stretch it thin enough, you can see through it. So it's made from, I think, the pulp of some sort of tree from Austria or something. So it's silky, silky smooth, super lightweight. They have really beautiful colors, which I also like. On one of the ends, if I can find the right end here, there is a little pouch that's just kind of sewn into the end. So if you want to just tuck it all in to its little pouch, it all fits in there if you want to travel with it or something like that. Really, really liked this baby wrap, again, because it was so silky smooth. But here is one kind of negative, because it is so thin and is so lightweight. You can maybe kind of see, maybe not so much right there. There you go, with my finger behind it, is a little hole. My toddler, she really likes to wrap this around herself and wear it around like a giant princess cape cloak thing. And so it drags around the house, and if it snags on something, this already has a couple little holes in it just from that sort of wear. So if you do have other little kids that might be pulling on it, or if you have things that you might be getting snagged on, it does tear a little more easily. But for the first, I'd say 3 months with my last daughter, I use this thing all the time. I really, really like this one for if you have a newborn, because it can fit really snug, but it's super soft, baby's close, lightweight. I really like it for that. But my new baby girl, who is, well, 4.5 months, so not quite so new anymore, she's a little chubby monkey, and so she is already about 18 pounds at her 4.5 month mark. And I found once she hit somewhere around the 14-pound mark maybe, that I just really didn't have enough support from this wrap. And I'll show you another wrap that was a little bit better, and then we'll go on to some other options that I liked as she's been getting bigger too. So these are good. Solly says, I believe, up to 25 pounds, but I think once you start getting up there, you're gonna want something that is a little bit more doesn't have quite as much stretch to the material, and also possibly something that is gonna put the weight on your hips versus on your shoulders. And of course, that's just me. So the next wrap that I like, same concept, just one long continuous piece of fabric. This is one from Amma Wrap, and it's a UK company. One of my absolute best mom friends in the world is English, which is cool, but of course she lives in England, so we don't get to see each other a lot. But she did, when she was done having her boys, she sent me this wrap. So it's very similar, but this one is a much heavier weight material. It still has a lot of nice stretch to it, but it just is a little bit thicker, a little bit sturdier. And so this wrap she used for her 2 boys. I used it, this was the only wrap I had for my first daughter. So I wore this a ton with my first, and I've been using it with my second. It doesn't have a single nick on it, no holes, no nothing. Again, it's a little bit heavier weight, so it's probably a little bit warmer, but I really, really like this one. And it does not have a pocket on the end of any kind, but it did come with a little pouch with a carrying strap that you can put it in if you want to. So the Amma wrap, same idea, but it's just a little sturdier. So once Louisa was just too heavy for the Solly wrap, I switched over and used the Amma wrap instead. Next thing I'm going to talk about is one that I never quite got on board with. A lot of people love them. I just never quite got it, and that is a ring sling. And so a ring sling is a length of fabric that then gathers and comes in through a ring, and you wear it over one shoulder, and baby sits in the little sling. They don't lay in the sling, they just kind of sit in the sling. And a lot of pictures I see of ring slings, it tends to be smaller babies, and I could definitely be wrong with that because, again, I just never quite got the hang of a ring sling. Reasons why I didn't really go for the ring sling, I didn't like it as much, is because it does just go across one shoulder. So the weight isn't distributed between two shoulders. So there is that. And then also with these, they're 100% perfectly safe. Just watch some videos on YouTube to kind of get the hang of it. And people use them all the time, love them. But I just never quite felt confident that my baby was in there well enough that she wasn't going to just like shoop out the bottom somehow. So that's one thing for sure with all these wraps and carriers and stuff. Everyone else might absolutely love them. And if you're not comfortable with it, if it doesn't make you feel confident in how you're carrying your baby, if it doesn't feel comfortable on your body, that's fine. Just find one to each his or her own different body shape and personal preferences. And for me, a ring sling just wasn't my favorite because of those things. So, but again, they might be for you. They're really pretty, I think, and just really cool. And I think maybe, again, if my baby was littler, I would use it more when they don't weigh as much. But a ring sling just was never quite my bag. Next up is another one from Solly Baby. This is the Loop Carrier. So this one, which I'll show you me putting this one on and kind of talk through it a little bit because it's a little bit tricky to get the hang of it first. So it just kind of looks like a big thing of fabric, but this is kind of a take on a woven wrap and then also combined with a ring sling. So the difference between a woven wrap and just kind of a general wrap is this. You can see, it's got a lot of springiness to it. It's like a knit fabric, and this is woven, so there's no stretch in that at all. So it's a much stiffer fabric, which is great as baby gets bigger and you need a little more support, a little more structure. I think woven wraps are definitely the way to go. So I do have just a plain woven wrap that isn't like this one, the Loop Carrier. And that, again, it's just like these. It's just a long stretch of fabric. You wrap them on a little slightly different than this. There's tons of videos on YouTube. You can check that out. And I really like those ones too. That one is actually, I wasn't thinking ahead, is in the laundry. So I can't show that one. So but this one is a little bit different. So instead of having to wrap it on and kind of tie it on around, this one you just put on and it makes a little sling for your baby. Again, I'll show you here what it looks like, and you use the ring in the back. So when you put it on, you take the ring and put it up and over your shoulders and down your back, and you make sure nothing's twisted or anything. And then this is the spot where I kind of had a little bit of trouble. So you pull the ring down where you can reach it, and then you wrap the wrap across your body and tuck it down into the loop. And it's the down into the loop that I even still struggle with sometimes. But so you go down into the loop and then you do the other side and go down to the other side of the loop, and you can pull it to tighten it. And how I tell that I have it on right is when you reach your fingers underneath, you shouldn't be able to feel the bottom of the loop. The fabric should be in between your body and the bottom of the loop. So if you reach under there and you can touch the bottom of the ring, then that means you went under instead of over. So I know that sounds kind of weird if you haven't worn this one before, but if you're trying to put this one on and struggling a little bit, that is the main thing that's helped me. The other thing about this wrap that at first I wasn't quite sure that I liked, or this carrier, it's technically a carrier, not a wrap. The other thing was that at first I didn't feel like I was getting that hip safe positioning. So with babies and little ones, you want to have them in the M position where their knees are kind of up and their bum is sitting down. And what I discovered was what really helped me with this is I would just kind of reach in and underneath my daughter's knees and kind of lift them up. So it kind of pushed her little butt down and pulled her knees up. And then I also, the shoulders of this, instead of having them kind of be down over your shoulders like a cap sleeve, I would gather the fabric on top of my shoulders. And by doing that, it really got her into that really good hip safe position. So I really, at first, this carrier, I didn't think I was going to like it, and I was bummed because it is not cheap, but I just kind of made myself keep using it and practicing with it and getting used to it, and then figuring out those little tricks really made a huge difference. And this is now our go-to carrier for around the house. This is what we use almost all the time. And if you are interested and you want to get either a Solly wrap, or if you want to get the Loop Carrier, it's nice to kind of start with the wrap when they're little and move on to the loop as they get bigger. They have an incredible sale right now on their website where you can buy a Loop Carrier and you get a wrap completely free. And the wraps, I want to say around $70. And so it's like $70 off to get both of them. So if you're just starting out and you don't have a carrier of any kind, I think that would be an incredibly good deal. And it goes on just till the end of March. So if you're watching this end of March 2022, then head over there and snag that deal. I'll post a link down in the description box below. So that kind of covers the regular wraps, woven wraps, ring slings, the loop carrier, which is kind of a creature all on its own. And so the next kind of category I think of for baby wearing and baby carrying is actual carriers. So I have two that I use. I use one more than the other, but we'll get into that in a second. So a carrier to me is one that is much more structured. You can see probably baby spit on there. Sorry about that. And so these are ones that are going to kind of go on almost like a backpack style. So it's going to buckle around your waist. It's going to have straps that go over your shoulders. I know this just looks like a pile of nothing, but I'll demonstrate putting this one on. Some things that I like about this one. This is the Infantimo one. This one you can carry the baby facing you. You can carry the baby facing away from you. You can also do a back carry with it, which is really nice. All the other wraps that I have shown you up until now, aside from if you have a plain woven wrap, not the loop carrier, but just a plain stretch of woven fabric, you can do back carries with that. But all the other ones you can only do front carry facing you. So it's really nice to have that difference with these other carriers that you can have baby facing away from you. You can have baby on your back. The other thing that's great about these style of carriers is that it takes the weight off of your shoulders as your baby gets bigger and transfers a lot of that to your hips, which is way easier for carrying. Infantimo one, I got it just because it was at a thrift store in the box, just about brand new for $5. And it's about a $40 carrier. And it's always nice to have some options for baby wearing because as you can see, they get dirty really quickly and easily. So some things I really like about this one is it has a lot of pockets on it, which is really cool. So it's got pockets there, it's got pockets on the belt. So you could stash a really small pack of wipes or pacifiers or snacks or whatever you want could go in there. It does have some padding on the belt, which is nice. It also has some padding on the shoulders. The belt is pretty standard, and then it has a little connection that goes on your back as well when you're wearing it. Oh, and another feature about this that I really like is it has an extra panel inside. So this actually separates you and your baby, and it's kind of like a vented thing that's supposed to help with cooling to keep the two of you cool. And it's also nice because you can have this completely strapped on your body and then put your baby in it and buckle your baby in, versus the other one I'm going to show you, you don't have the straps fully really on yet and attached before baby goes in, which can be a little bit nerve-wracking when you're first getting started. So this one, the one thing I like about it is it's still kind of bulky, but it's not super bulky compared to the one I'm about to show you. So if you were going to go maybe on vacation or something and you wanted to do some baby wearing, if you're going to be trekking around a little bit, I think this one would be a good option because it's not going to be quite as big to pack and carry around. It's pretty lightweight, which is nice as well. So overall, I'd say this is a really solid choice, and they have them at just like Target, Walmart, wherever you can pick these ones up. Okay, now we're headed to what I consider sort of the like minivan of baby carriers. This thing is built. It is maybe a tank is a better term for it because it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but in terms of all-out support for you, hands down, this is my most favorite carrier. So this big honker is the LilleBaby Carrier. It can't be beat in terms of support. So look at the size of this. This is the waist belt. Look, this is like the sort of thing I feel like people who do like weightlifting and stuff wear, like a big belt like this to support you. And it really, the level of support you get from this, it's got kind of these thick foam things in here is incredible. It's got a really, really big solid buckle that goes on. One thing I like about it too is it has this kind of safety strap that the buckle goes through and then the buckle goes in. So if for whatever crazy reason your buckle were to stop functioning, your carrier wouldn't just fall off of you. It would catch on this little piece here, which is really nice. In the back, as you wear it, it also has a lumbar support that goes right on the small of your back, which is also incredibly nice. Then as you work your way up the carrier, these are super duper padded, thick straps. There's also a little kind of cushion here so the buckle on your back isn't irritating you. So this is in the summer times when I am out doing farm work, doing fencing projects, really having to haul my baby around. This is the one that I use. And this one too, you can use this from I think 7 pounds all the way up to as big as you want to carry him basically. And so this one you can do facing you carry, facing away from you carry, back carry. I think there's also a side carry you can do, which I've never really found a use for, but you can do that if you want. It also has inside here in this pocket is a little like hat rain cover thing, something I've also never used, but this can come out and snap over your baby if it suddenly starts raining. And so then this is kind of a pocket then also you could store stuff in, and it has a little zipper pocket here as well in the front that you can put stuff in as well. So this one doesn't have quite as many pockets. It is very, very bulky, but man, if you're looking for something that really is supportive and helpful, this is my favorite carrier for that, hands down. So a couple other carriers that I have tried but no longer have because I didn't like them. I also had an old baby Bjorn. So if you're at a yard sale or something and there's a newer baby Bjorn, one that kind of looks like that Infantimo Carrier I showed you, and it's for a good deal, go for it. But the older baby Bjorn that I had, I don't even know how old that sucker was. Looking back at it, I actually just got rid of it. It didn't have a wide base seat. So like on this, you can see how wide this seat is, and you can change it so it's only about yay wide, narrow for different types of carries. But again, talking about that M position, you really want the carrier to tuck up underneath their knees. That old baby Bjorn did not have that. It was just one position only. It didn't have a waist belt at all, so all the weight was going on your shoulders. So that one is one that I got rid of. The newer ones, I looked them up, do typically look more like that Infantimo one, but just kind of a heads up, like older baby carriers might not quite be hip safe. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for shopping for a used carrier. Another one I got that I really didn't care for, and I'm sure this is going to be controversial to some people, is I got a Happy Baby carrier, and I did not like it. And Happy Baby, a lot of people love it. There are Facebook groups dedicated to Happy Baby. They have several different models. So maybe if I just tried a different model, I got their, was it the Revolution or whichever one that you can do facing out carry and facing you carry. That was really important to me. So it's a really good quality carrier. I really like that their company, I believe that they employ stay-at-home moms do the sewing. So that way they're like helping moms make money but stay home with their babies, which I think is super cool. Their carriers are gorgeous. They're well made. They're really nice. This isn't a critique of that at all. It was just for me, the belt on it, the waist belt was not very comfortable or very supportive, I didn't feel like. And I felt like my baby was perfectly safe in it and everything, but it just didn't quite work very well for me. So Happy Baby was one that they have a great return policy and everything, so I sent that one back because I didn't care for it much. All right, so those are my favorite baby carriers, the carriers I use all the time. If I was starting out brand new with babies, but knowing what I know now, I would probably get that deal that they have at Solly Baby right now. It's not just because I'm an affiliate, they're really, really good carriers, and that deal is just mind-blowing to me. So I'd probably head over there, get that deal, so I would have the lightweight, really nice, soft one to use when baby's little, and then when baby gets a little bit bigger, transition over to the loop carrier, and then I would also get this LilleBaby because I am a farm working mother and need to have something really sturdy when I'm out hoofing it around the pastures. So of all the ones that I have, that's probably what I'd do. Although, like I said, the Ama was really nice too, and I got along great with that for my entire first baby. I don't know. There's a lot of good choices here. So again, just find what works for your body, works for your baby, makes you feel confident and comfortable, and maybe a little cute if you're looking for something fashionable, and you really can't go wrong. Hey, so this is kind of a random last minute addition that I just thought to make while I'm making supper. One thing to keep in mind too when you are buying baby wraps and baby carriers is that some of them can be size specific. So the wraps themselves, those typically are one size fits all, but like this one, the woven wraps, they come in different sizes, which can be a little bit frustrating, especially when you're just fresh postpartum like I am. I still have 15 pounds to get back to kind of where I was before I had her, and then 10 pounds to get back to where I was before I had my first daughter. And I'd say a good 5-10 pounds before I get back to where I was before I met and married my husband. But anyway, that's just something that can be a little bit frustrating, that when you are buying ones that come in different sizes, is if you want to use it right away, but you also want something that's not going to be way too much fabric when you're back to kind of your normal size. That can be one kind of negative thing about buying wraps that come in different sizes. Sorry, this is kind of a random last minute addition. I didn't want to set up lighting or anything. I'm literally just in my entryway, but I wanted to make sure I got that point in. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. Helps us get found by more people. You can always find us here every single week with new videos about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble farmhouse.